Gunbow Island to me and my family is a very significant place. I mean, we've got 8 generations here. Great-grandfather was born over in Mount Hope, worked all around that area. You know, my grandfather was born in Barham. All my family was. So Gunbow Island is is sort of a central hub where all our family always got together and we went out camping and fishing and hunting and the whole 9 yards. It was, you know, I grew up not knowing a lot about my culture. And then in the 90s, I come across an old uncle who was telling me a few things and I was fascinated by it. And he took me out here again, and I'd been on the island, you know, but with mates and did the boating thing and the fishing thing and the camping thing, but never any cultural things. Looked at the sites and all that sort of stuff. So he showed me around and I took it upon myself to learn about the culture a bit more. So I become engrossed in it and I still am. But anyone who wants to listen, I'll talk to about culture. You know, I'll talk your ear off about it. I'll take you to sites and I'll tell you what it was used for and why it's there and all that sort of stuff.
Being Indigenous, I want to keep my Indigenous culture alive because I don't want it to fade away. So practicing our culture and me learning it now will benefit for the younger generation I teach in the future. And I want to teach all my nieces, nephews and even my kids, teach my kids, you know, how to go out into the bush, how to monitor sites, what's cultural sites, and how to talk to people, ask questions and find out the things you need to know to connect to culture. But yeah, on this week we just did canoeing then. Before that, did some site monitoring. We got our tablets out and mapped out and recorded some sites, all connecting people and meeting family and meeting people from other organisations and co-ops and seeing what they can do for our waterways and how they can help us and what can happen in the future. Out here, we've done a fair bit, done a bit of talking, but the good thing is having Colin out talking and knowing, getting some of his knowledge, and I have one-on-one yarns with him, and you know, some of the stuff he tells me, he just blows my mind sometimes.
Such amazing long-term history here, you know, where you've got some of the most important sites for our understanding of the long-term history of people in the country. We're looking at earth mounds where people lived. We're looking at, in some instances, where burials have been disturbed, and the Barapa, they want to know who those people are, they want to know when they lived, they want to know something about them. Actually, when people would have been in residence in all these little villages and hamlets that we've been looking at, where the main street is the lagoon, the houses are these earth mounds arrayed along the lagoon, the driveway is the little side runner that comes up where you come in and park your canoe. And here you have the best evidence in the country of people who are resident in villages maybe 4 or 5 months of the year, and these villages are packed throughout here.
I'm Garth. I'm a part of the Barapa culture team that's going through Gunbow and this area. We're going through looking at scar trees and other plants and that there, such as old man weed and other type of plants that's usually in the water. I really like it because we get to know more about our ancestors and what they used to live on and all that kind of stuff. Last time I come out here, there was no water at all. That didn't look very healthy. But this time around, it's more or less flooded, as you can see, and we could see more of the plants and that now, and they're growing pretty good. Hopefully when it dries up, we can get in and have a better look at all the plants and the scar trees. And well, last time there was a few people that I met, and yeah, today there's more. That it'll be good to get to know our family and all of that. As you could probably see on the camera, you could see most of the family coming across now in their canoes. I'm really happy. Yeah, I'm really happy to be out here.
My name's Ron Galloway. I'm an elder for the Barapa Nation, and we're here today on Gunbow Island in the Gunbow Creek with fish monitors. That means we stun the fish, pull them on board the boat, measure them, then let them go. Everything's coming together pretty good. This is my second time out and I'm enjoying myself, as usual. I love the bush, and I don't get out here often enough. Well, it's my favourite place. There are lots of places in here that have a cultural significance. It probably wouldn't matter to a lot of people, but to us it does. Well, we put together a lot more than I thought we could, and with the help of others. who feel that we should know a little bit more about what's happening on this country culturally. We're working on that and for the last, 4 years, and I'd like to see it continue.
When I first heard about this project with the CMA, and I thought it was a great idea, but I thought it'd be just one of those programs you hear, 6 months and that's the end of it. But when I got the feedback from the first year, I thought, well, this has got legs. It's going to go somewhere. So I kept an eye on it through my dad and through some other people that have been on it, and had a bit of a listen to what they had to say. And I think it's a fantastic thing what they're doing. It's not about the CMA. It's not about everybody else. It's about Barapa people. They don't write down and say, okay, you're going to go here, this. They're asking us what we want to do, what we want to see.
The Barapa Culture Project it's been a real blessing actually to be involved, because we've been coming up to Gunbow for a decade, and most of that time has really been around looking at plants and the animals and the hydrology, but not necessarily understanding the culture that is traditional to this area. Being invited to come along has been a real privilege to both listen to stories that have been captured in the memories and the history of the people, but also it gives us a bit of a chance to give back some knowledge. My feeling is that a lot of people were taken off country, they weren't allowed to practice their culture, and I feel as an ecologist we've been given the privilege of learning about plants and animals and ecology, and now we're actually able to give some of that knowledge back. So it's a really beautiful place to do two ways learning, where we're learning from the mob and the mob are learning from us, from scientific methods, and we're stitching it all back together again to help look after this bit of land as best we can from a scientific perspective and from a cultural perspective.
My name's Dixon Patton. I'm a Barapa person. I'm connected all along the Murray River one way or another for all my families. I started doing this Barapa course, and at that stage in my life I was struggling, so I was probably in the pits, but then this program come along. I lived in Kerrang for a lot of years other than living in Melbourne, so I've been coming home to country for a reasonably long time, and I've been coming to Kerrang since I was a baby. So the Barapa country has always been a really big part of who I am, and being connected to the water, the land, the trees. And then I started doing my clapsticks. Most of the wood that I use is from the Kundaruk mill, so it's always been from this area. I've always known that I've always been on Barapa country. I've always known that who is Barapa people and who ain't. But I'm in this, people say, oh, you might live on country, but you're not from here. But if you care for this country, I still reckon that you're still a part of it. Well, this monitoring program, when the water has taught me a lot. We're doing microorganisms, we're going about the food chain, about the water flow, the water regime, working and understanding. And the main thing, and the good thing about the catchment is that they're actually involving Barapa people, and that have been here since time immemorial. And a part of the whole process has been a good learning curve for everyone. This program itself has enabled me to understand more about the floods, more about, like I said, the microorganisms, the food, how the life is. And then we go around and do the scar trees. And the greatest part too is that I've actually done 3 scar trees here, and the other week, which was a great experience, doing it with my own sons and handing it down, the knowledge. And that's exciting.
I think it was my great-nan or my great-great-nan was part of the Barapa tribe. So, me finding that out, I had to come out here and do some of this work, and I like it anyway. Being out in the bush, being outside.
Hi, I'm Rochelle Patton. I've come out here today with my father to, do some monitoring on some fish. It was a very good experience just to learn about everything today, irrigation and stuff like that. I take this as really important for most of the young fellas, or most young Indigenous kids there, because we do want to reach out to the elders and actually learn, what they have to teach us. Take that on to our next generations and stuff like that. So it's just good to actually participate in, just coming out here and being on country. I'd see myself in the future doing this sort of thing. I love, just being on country, so maintaining land, and actually working with other people to help maintain land. Yeah, this experience, even just, a simple conversation, it's really good just to connect with family and connect with your own people. No, good feeling. Just very relaxed today. Loved it. Yeah.
To see places like this with water, and it's fantastic, the bird life, the wildlife, and just seeing people like Uncle Duck out here, just enjoying it and wanting to get in and get his hands dirty. Now that's what culture is. That, to me, that's what it's all about.
I just get that feeling that I feel home. I feel at home. I feel welcome.
That I don't need a native title claim. I don't need a RAP status to say this is part of who my identity is, because I know. And to me, I'm one of the lucky ones, because there's a lot of people that don't know their identity. So I've been blessed for that through my family and being able to come back to country.